Morning guys, welcome back to the farm. It's 32 degrees out here, October 27th. Finally some cool fall weather. It is pristine out here, and yesterday we actually had a thrill on the farm. So we were actually about 45 minutes away, spending some time with my in-laws at a campground, just enjoying some family time. And of course, bad things happen when we're not around. Get a phone call that, hey, your sheep are out. So when we first got the call, my first thought was it was these 9 sheep here in our newest pasture. I wasn't sure how they would have gotten out. We got 7 strands of electric fencing here. I just took a reading on it. We're reading 7,500 volts, so definitely a hot fence. But they ended up at the neighbor's farm across the way here. You can see in the background. So right away, I kind of gravitated thinking it was these sheep here. Turns out that was not the case. Again, we were away, so my mom and dad kind of came to the rescue. Definitely thanks to them for getting these sheep back. But it turns out it was our St. Croix rams that are over in our other pasture. And guys, I have no idea how they got out. So we were kind of playing phone tag back and forth for a while. My mom was kind of the communication there while my dad was trying to wrangle up some sheep on the neighbor's property. Definitely would have loved to get that on video. He ended up having to wrestle one down. And these guys are not the St. Croix. The rams are definitely a little bit bigger than these guys. So kind of look at Spot and imagine similar to that size. Spot's maybe a little bit larger, but nevertheless, definitely a challenge over on the neighbor's property. To put it into perspective, his farm's all the way down there, and these sheep were kind of up over that ridge line. It levels out over there, and there's a wide open field. They were all the way over there. Now, how they got out, that's what we're doing today. We're trying to figure that out because I still have no idea. Again, it would have made sense if it was these guys because they just would have went right down the road to the neighbor. But our rams actually come from all the way over here. They would have had to walk around, this whole fence line, most likely up the road or all the way down there through the woods and up over the ridge line, which at that point, you think they would have stopped in some open field along the way. So we are going to go check out that pasture. My dad did get them back. Actually, when I got home, he had 2 in the crate. He had 1 already back in our woven wire fencing. That's where they're going to stay for a little bit until I figure out really what's going on. Hate to kind of confine them back into that smaller area, but we can't have them getting out again. And I will just say, it is a very helpless feeling when you are close to an hour away and your animals are running around and you really have nothing you can do except for try to provide some advice. Obviously, I did end up coming home then, like I said, but the job was already done at that point. So fortunately, we do have family here because otherwise, I'm not sure we would have got those sheep. I also would have had to immediately get home. So it definitely changes things up a little bit, and we're definitely lucky to have that. So we are up here in what we call our orchard area, checking the fence line now. There's obviously nothing wrong up here. We are going to get a reading. My concern is that as we go down kind of into the hollow here, there might be a down tree or down branch. If the fence is down, sheep are definitely going to get out. All right, so yeah. We are completely dead here. Huh. Well, that could be our answer, guys. We are completely dead here. At some point, our connection is definitely disrupted. We do have a couple spots over on the other side where we have alligator clips. That way we can kind of control different sections of the fencing, but that would definitely explain it. You have no power to your fence. Yeah, your animals can go right through. We're gonna take a hike around and check out some of those connection points. Hopefully, it's a matter of one just got knocked off. Maybe a deer came through or something like that. I have a feeling that's not gonna be, the whole story, but we'll see. So as we're heading over there, thinking about this and what could have been done, this one's definitely my fault for getting a little lazy. I'm usually pretty good at checking our fence lines, checking the voltage, but definitely missed this one recently. If there's one I'm gonna miss, it's always gonna be this top line because, well, it's the furthest away and I kind of have to walk around like I am today. So we're over here at the first connection point. You see here we got just these alligator clips. Everything looks good aside from some grass on these bottom wires here. But basically what we're gonna do, we'll see if we can get a reading, and then just kind of have to spot check it as we kind of go up the line here. There's a couple connection points, working our way up, so we'll just have to check at each one. So I'm hoping that if we get some power here, we will kind of know where we have an issue. And we are completely dead here, guys. So this is definitely pretty interesting. This entire run is completely dead, no power to it. Obviously that makes it very susceptible to predators and obviously our sheep getting out. So we got another connection point up here. I'll check that. Now this is interesting because right down at the base of this hill, kind of there where you can see the woods, that's actually where our pigs are. And obviously our fence is hot there. We're reading 9,500 as of last night. So at some point from here down around the corner and down to the bottom of the hill, we lose our connection, or I should say we lose our charge. Here is another connection point. Everything looks good. Now you might wonder why we kind of have it rigged up like this. This kind of was built in sections, so we kind of use these alligator clips. That way we can turn the fence off or do kind of whatever. Gives you a little bit of flexibility rather than having it hardwired in. So we will hope that we actually have a charge on this side. And we do not. So lesson learned, check your fence in multiple spots. I usually check it in a few, apparently not enough, because I do check the pigs quite frequently. Obviously, you know, I kind of figured that this is all connected, so being that one has to charge does not mean that the entire thing is. So we'll go to the other side of our gate, and this right there, 9,500. So now what we're looking at, guys, troubleshooting a little bit on the fly. On the far side of our gate, we are good. Everything back behind me is completely dead. So the only thing I can think of at this point is that we're having some sort of issue connecting by our gate. So now we're on the opposite side. That side is the hot one. We go underground, underneath the gate here, and we come over to this side, and we have absolutely nothing. Our connection wire comes up out of the ground. I don't know if you can see this here, and we're gonna touch there to see if our connection wire has anything, and that doesn't either. So that's our problem. So we can come back over here, check our connection over on this side. Right there, we have a failure. You guys see that? That's the clamp where the wire is supposed to connect, and that's the wire right there. So obviously we're not in contact. That ain't gonna work. We're gonna have to shut the fence down, come back up here and reclamp it. So to be honest with you, I didn't really think that would be the issue. I really thought there'd be like a down limb or something like that we were gonna have to cut off. I'm glad we found it. You know, didn't exactly expect to troubleshoot our fence line with you, but it was kind of cool to kind of walk you through and show you the different connection points, things to kind of check for. And I'm not really sure how that failed. Those clamps, if you're not familiar, you basically use a crimping tool, and those get pushed on there pretty hard. So must have just been a bad crimp, something like that. Obviously you could see the wire was exposed and definitely not touching several inches away from the fence. So like I said, that ain't gonna get it done. So at some point here today, we'll go down, we'll fish out a new crimp, we'll turn the fence off, we'll get back up here and we'll get power to it. Again, we're reading 9,500 up to that point. Once we get connected and we're powering this entire thing, I do expect that power is gonna kind of draw down a little bit. There is a lot of weed pressure down there as you get through the woods where we were. It's a tough area to get to throughout the summer. So really until the animals can kind of take care of that, it's gonna give us a little bit of problem. Being that it's so hot, I don't expect it to draw down too much, but it is actually interesting. I always wonder why our pig fence is so hot. That explains it. When you're disconnected and you're powering an area that's a lot less than you think it is, that'll definitely give you a little more juice there. And we've been getting readings like that on the pigs for a while, so now I'm starting to wonder how long was this fence without power up here, which is definitely an issue. I just let the sheep out on this hill about a week ago, so it took them less than a week to really figure it out that they had nothing holding them in, and that's certainly what happened. They went right through the fence. They could go over this fence, but they would really have to want to get out. Just obviously testing it, knowing there's no power to it, they can slip right through. Sheep definitely can do that, no problem. So definitely a little bit of excitement. Really glad that we got them back for one, and definitely something we'll learn from. Also kind of scary, you think about it, being that this could have been out now for a little bit of time. We're lucky, and I know, you know, my dad wouldn't agree with this, we're lucky they got out and that nothing got in and actually got them, because obviously you don't have a hot fence, you're definitely susceptible to predators. So anyway, all is good here. They are back in. We're walking up on them right now. They're gonna be in sheep jail here for a couple days just to kind of reacclimate, settle back down. Obviously it probably was stressful for them getting chased around and putting back in the crate. They will eventually test that fence when we get it hot and we get them back out there. It's gonna be a good wake-up call for them. Hopefully gets them back disciplined to electric. You want your animals for sure to respect the electric. If they don't, obviously that's gonna be a bigger issue. I was kind of fearful that was a possibility and they went right through it or went right over it. Anyway, that would have been a bigger issue for us. But here we are in our woven wire, back where they were for the first few weeks when we got them, to keep them separate. There's not a whole lot in here, which definitely is unfortunate. There's some grasses in here as you kind of go down throughout, but a lot of it's dried up. We are very dry here in Pennsylvania. We got to make sure the fence is hot. We got to make sure they respect it, and that's that, guys. We got them back in. We figured out the problem. We'll get that fixed and we'll move forward. Never a dull moment on a farm. There's always some things going on, always problems that need to be fixed. And that is it for today, guys. We're gonna head on in. If you like what we're doing, as always, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Questions, comments, drop them below. We're always happy to hear from you guys. Thanks again, guys. We appreciate your time and have a good day.